This is a Bergen Film Club podcast.
Like an old movie removed from the frame, I am floating and looking for someone to blame. Won't you project me on the walls of your heart? I'm waiting for the real thing to start.
Hello, welcome back to The Real Thing. I'm your host Joe Lawrence, and today we have another board recommendations episode. Today we are joined by BFK's newest board member, Lilly-Mae.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being on the podcast. Super cool. Very motivated, I heard.
Yeah.
I thought we could start off. I've been asking the board members if you can tell a little bit about what your position on the board is.
Yeah. So I am the very new head of funding. I started in March, I think, of being a volunteer at BFK. I first started in 2021, 2022, and then I left, and I came back in January. And when I heard it was a new board position open, I thought, oh, I want to do that. I've been dreaming of it for a long time. So yeah, again, I'm the head of funding, and my job is to send applications and keep the film club running economically. So I do a lot of application writing and some research of where we can apply for money, both public and private funding. And there's also a lot of budgeting and getting the necessary info. So I work a lot with other board members and kind of collab with them.
Are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I think it's very nice. It can be a bit stressful because there's some certain deadlines, but now I'm just doing the applications without a deadline. So that gives me some time to do some side questing for BFK, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite questions that I ask, because it's not like you're going to be like, no, I don't like being a board member.
I hate being a board member.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to say that. Okay, then you have some recommendations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take it away. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so I've got 3 films and 1 TV show and a band. A bit inspired by another board member that had like a billion recommendations. I will not mention names. So the first film I want to recommend is one I watched quite recently, which is, I think it's Orson Welles' F for Fake from 1973. It's kind of this documentary with elements of fiction and surrealism, which gives a very nice insight into forgery, which is something I haven't really been thinking about. Okay. So it's mainly about art forgery and autobiography forgery. As someone who's quite passionate about art history, I think it's very interesting getting told a story about art forgery, because it's something I haven't really been thinking about. Sure. And it's also from 1973, and it's like super 70s, and it's in this very warm country. I can't really remember which country it is, but it's on this island, and it just looks so nice to be there. So it's just the aesthetic side of it I really enjoy as well. But I think the thing that gets me is how it's edited, and it kind of spoiler alert, tricks us and has some elements of fiction. So it's an approach to documentaries I haven't really seen before. Because I thought this was a fiction film until I googled it. I was like, oh, this is actually a documentary. Oh, okay. It's also very good on under 90-minute watch, because I went on the Criterion streaming service, and I wanted to find a film that I could watch in 1.5 hours, and I found this one. And it just felt like it was lasting so much longer. I just got really invested in it. I just got a bit disappointed when it ended. So I really recommend that film. Yeah,
it sounds really cool. Especially I feel like I can't imagine that a blend of a fiction film a documentary that seems like a fiction film.
So it's kind of going a bit out breaking the fourth wall quite a bit. Okay. And that's what I really enjoy about it. Because I feel like a lot of documentaries are they kind of have this many of them are quite the same. I feel.
Sure.
Like it's like a narrator and it's just like something happening. You can cut that out. I regret saying that already.
No. This is a free hate zone.
Yeah. The second one is one I know I'm going to yap a lot about, and that's is a concert film actually, and it's Björk Vespertine live at the Royal Opera House 2001. Yeah, just like so, I know Björk is one of my favorite artists of all time, so I'm going to yap a lot.
For good reason.
Yeah. So it's a concert film directed by David Barnard, who is the same guy who did Radiohead Live in the Basement, which might be recognisable for the people that spend as many hours as I do on radio music. And it's just this like very perfect visualization of Björk's most beautiful album, in my opinion, as well as some of her singles and the soundtrack from Dance in the Dark. And this is a period of her career which I kind of like pinpoint as like the height of her career. And they've just like done this like really good work in like how they've set up the production. So she has a harpist, a Greenlandic choir, which consists of only women, and she also has a 40-piece orchestra, and she also has an electronic duo Matmos, which make like the beats. Because this is a very like minimalistic album.
Is Vespertine the one that's like black and white?
Yeah, the one with the swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in a swan dress era. Yeah, also like side note, she was she was actually the first contemporary pop artist to perform in the Royal Opera House.
Really?
So I think it's also a very groundbreaking concert film. And I think like as a music fan, concert films deserve more recognition. But I feel like people kind of like shy away from it because like when you think concert film, you either think like those like fan uploaded like YouTube clips, or those like, I want to kind of call them like cinema bait, like these music documentaries, which like the Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish ones. No hate, but just like there's not like, I feel like
it's like maybe another form of promo rather than like actually something to say.
Yeah, it just becomes promo. I think like the one with Björk and Vespertine is a love dedication in it, and also the intro when she plays Frosty, where she just sits. It's just like the light is only shining on her, and she wears a beautiful white dress, and she's playing the Frosty, which is like a music box song. She's like playing the music box on the stage, and it's like snow falling on her. It's like absolutely beautiful.
Cool.
I tear up when I see it.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I love Björk. She's the best.
You can find on YouTube.
Nice. Okay. What's your favorite Björk album? Vespertine or?
Has to be Vespertine. But also really like Homogenic. Yeah, it's just like I love so many of her albums. I've seen it twice. Yeah, but I'm not going to yap too much more about her because I know an entire episode will be about her. Yeah,
I think my favorite, I don't know, I don't think it's a controversial choice, but I think Sora, actually.
Yeah, that's really good as well.
I was like obsessed with it out of nowhere, so.
Yeah, I just love how she like, it's her Gabba album. Yeah, that she's like, it's kind of her take on club music and also Grief as well. I did actually buy that on vinyl. Most expensive vinyl I've bought. It's like 600 krona. But everything for Mother to recommend. And that's We're All Going to the World's Fair. By Jane. It's by Jane Schoenbrunn. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. I think this is her. I don't remember if it's their second or third film. But I think it's like their first like cinema film or festival film, if I remember correctly. So it's about a teenager called Casey, and they start playing this like online horror game called We're All Going to the World's Fair, which can remind of like Bloody Mary and Creepypasta. But they get a little bit too immersed in it, and reality and fantasy starts blurring. And I also think like this is one of the first films I've seen that really tackles this of like being like growing up on your computer quite well.
Mm.
Because I myself is someone who someone who grew up on their computer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking for films that kind of like are about this.
Yeah.
And I'm quite happy that this was made and I watched it. I also think like it's a lot about vulnerability and loneliness, especially as a teenager.
Sure.
Because they are quite like what's the word? They are a very lonely teenager from what I see. And I also think it's like very like it tackles this with like what I call like the grayscale zones of the internet, like things that are like a little bit dodgy but like still legal, like these like creepy games and like creepypasta and stuff. Like it's okay, like it's I'm trying to not make myself cancelled, however I'm gonna say.
What are you gonna say?
It's like a legal dodgy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dark web shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just like how like as a teenager, like how easily you can fall for those kinds of things.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it just like the film kind of like it feels like something that could like happen in real life as well. Like this could be any teenager.
Mm-hmm.
I also like read on Letterboxd that someone called this a teen folklore film, which I think suits it quite well.
Yeah, that's fun.
Mm.
Did you like read creepypasta stuff growing up?
No, because I was too scared.
Okay, yeah. I was literally just gonna say that I think I'm thankful that I avoided all of that because I was also too scared.
Yeah.
To read it.
I know people who like did and stuff, but not like didn't like immerse themselves in it. And I think like it just kind of like, not to sound like a parent, but like it kind of like speaks a bit of like the dangers of the internet.
Sure.
And like all the dodgy stuff you can find there. And like that teenagers and young people can be quite vulnerable for it, especially if they're lonely.
Yeah.
Because the internet is quite a lonely place.
Yeah.
Not to sound like too deep, but yeah. Jane Schoen, the director's has made a new film, which is I saw the TV Glow, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah. I hope that my local film festivals will pick it up and screen it because I heard it's got a really good soundtrack. Yeah. And also with like we're all going to the World Fair, I'm quite excited to see what the director's going to do next.
For sure. But I think that's fun. Like I was just saying, speaking of like blurring of reality, I just watched Inland Empire yesterday. And David Lynch movie about Laura Dern just going crazy for 3 hours. And I really enjoyed it. I feel like I think I would like We're All Going to the World's Fair because whilst all of that stuff was happening, I feel like it's maybe a criticism of films like that people like really try to find a meaning in it, and the frustrating thing that they end up not liking is that maybe there isn't a meaning. It's just like it's just Laura Dern having a bad time.
Yeah, I really,
that's it.
Yeah, I really agree.
I
think we're all going to the World's Fair. I just like I've read a lot of like reviews that have kind of like people very like different, or they have like different meanings about it, and like one of them was actually like this like the character might be trans, because I don't think like I say they about the character because I'm not sure about their pronouns, but like you'd never really hear themselves calling them for like using pronouns. It's usually other people that use the pronouns at them. Sure. But yeah, just like I read a lot of reviews that kind of like said that maybe the character is trans, and also the director is also trans. Yeah. And said it's like it's very based upon trans aesthetics. Sure. So I think that's something to keep in mind when you watch a film, and then I think I want to watch it again with like that in mind.
Yeah, I actually have not seen it, so
we're gonna watch it next semester.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a secret.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking about David Lynch, my next recommendation. This is what I would say is a very basic choice for being a film bro, but Twin Peaks. Sure. I love Twin Peaks. It's also a show I've used like the longest time of watching. I used 5 years on like finishing it. Yeah. Because like I was just like I've watched a pilot so many times now, but I had to like try and like really immerse myself in it. So it was this summer when I was just waiting for like to find out like where I was going to uni and stuff. I was just working, and I just like sat in bed watching Twin Peaks. And I love Ingmar Bergman films as well, so it was a very nice summer. And I just like completely immersed myself in Twin Peaks, and I just think like the fact that this was primetime television in several countries is so insane. I'm thinking especially about season 3, episode 8, the one with the atomic bomb. Like that's that's like so art house, and it like got like shown on primetime television. That's the thing. Only David Lynch can do that. Yeah.
I actually have just started watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
I started it over Christmas, and then it's taken me like until now to watch 7 episodes. But I really like it. I really love the vibe, and I like how. I think that's something that I really like about David Lynch, and maybe kind of like a change in my own perspective about his films. Is that I kind of like I was just saying, like I just go along with it, you know. Like I'm not like you don't have to find like logic in everything. So like I think a big part in season 1 is the whole investigation is like based on a dream that Agent Cooper had, and then I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, there's also a thing about Twin Peaks that I really like is it's like it's very quirky and eccentric, and so are the characters. But that's something I want to mention is that like, especially season 2, I really enjoy the side plots, and that's a controversial opinion. But I love how we get to know the characters and how quirky they are, especially now I'm thinking about the good characters. That like it's just kind of accepted in that universe that they are quirky and weird. It's like, oh yeah, that's just how they are, and we just have to like live with it, and we still love them for who they are. And that's something I've like seen recurring in David Lynch's films as well, such as The Elephant Man, which is also one of my favorite films. Like how they accept the Elephant Man. Can't remember his name right now at the top of my head. But it's like there's a lot of love in David Lynch's films, and like a lot of like humanity as well. And also he's really good at making like bad guys and like what we call like the freaks. Yeah, it's just like he can make some really scary stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The end of it, Inland Empire, like I forgot, like there's like a particular scene with like a scary face.
Yeah.
And I forgot how horrible it was.
Yeah.
Until I was watching it.
I feel like with Twin Peaks as well, it's just like how he like blends like soap operas and detective mystery and horror, and like it's just like this like really like eccentric and weird and quirky and beautiful thing as well. But yeah, I'm really obsessed with Twin Peaks. I just like after what like trying to get like been like rewatching Wild at Heart and like kind of like in my David Lynch phase again. So I think it's time to like pull out my Twin Peaks t-shirts again.
Nice. It's fun that you said about it being prime time, because my granddad watched a lot of like he was really into like TV, like The Sopranos, and like I learned about the X-Files from him.
Yeah, I just started The Sopranos.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had like borrow it from the library because I could. It's like it's only on HBO and I don't have money for that.
No, yeah. But he showed me like the Alien movies and stuff. But I just found out that he was like, because he's passed away now. But I just found out that he was super into Twin Peaks. But then and then I was talking to my nana about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen that."
Yeah, it's just like so many like of like the older generations that watched it. Like my dad's a really big fan. Yeah. I started watching it with him when I was like 15. And he's got like so many like Twin Peaks tattoos and stuff.
Very cool.
Shout out to my dad.
Yeah, shout out Lilly-Mae's dad.
Thanks for showing me Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I told him to like subscribe to the podcast so he can listen to it.
Yeah. I can feature Lilly-Mae more if you want Lilly-Mae's dad.
So yeah, I love David Lynch.
Yeah. Cool
been
guy.
thinking a lot about that guy recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was like the films and series I want to talk about. So I've also got some music, because I love music as much as film. Those are my two main passions, as well as art. So it's this band I actually discovered quite recently called Full Body 2. There used to be a band called Full Body, but then they kind of like rebranded and called themselves Full Body 2, which I think is just like, here's a really funny name.
Yeah, that is fun.
So I'm like a really big fan of shoegaze. And then I kind of felt like I just got a bit burnt out of it because it's like so much there's like being released and being like a homage to like the 90s shoegaze bands. But this is like something I've heard as it just like feels completely new and fresh. And it's like I would kind of call like internet shoegaze, like a digital landscape shoegaze, and just really refreshing to listen to. I would recommend the Audio Tree live EP because I was like kind of like thinking like this would be a band that would be really difficult to translate into live music, but that live EP just slaps. It's really good. It's a very good like spring music. Like I'll listen a lot to it when I'm outside walking. And I also think we should have more shoegaze and film soundtracks. I'm really missing that. So yeah.
What are other like shoegaze recommendations that you would have?
Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking if I was gonna leave this out or not, but I will just bring it with. It's this group called Double Virgo from London. It's two of the members from a band called Bar Italia. And I would recommend them as some new fresh shoegaze. Because like someone on Rate You Music has said, someone on Rate You Music I think said that like this is like a band that sounds like all the music you would sound like listen to in the 90s, like when with alternative rock, and they've just made something new with it. It's just like they've released so much music as well. Like they recently released a 36 track album last year.
Yeah.
And I would really recommend them. Like I'm sick of gatekeeping them. I need more friends that listen to them. But yeah, otherwise with like shoegaze, My Bloody Valentine is a classic. They're probably like one of like the shoegaze mammoths at this point. Like they started in the 80s, and it's like kind of like the gateway to like shoegaze. So yeah, it's a classic, but I would recommend them.
Yeah, very cool.
So
I don't know that I listen to a lot of shoegaze, but I'm not 100% sure that I know what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just like it's like if the music sounds like a Hoover, that's shoegaze.
Okay.
But it's like very like. I'm gonna search up the Wikipedia now because I don't know.
I think if it sounds like a Hoover, it's a brilliant.
Yeah, if it sounds like a Hoover, but it's like a lot of like very like distorted guitars and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but again, like it's Hoover music.
Like Always. Have you listened to them?
Yeah, I would say like they're more like the house and elements of it.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's a lot of bands that have like this element of like this like noisy, distorted guitar. But when I think like shoegaze, it's like if the music like mainly just sounds like a Hoover. Like it's just like very noisy and very like melodic and beautiful.
Cool.
Some people might not like it, but I just like really enjoy it.
Yeah, cool. But it's nice with some music recommendations for sure. Then I'm gonna recommend an album that just came out on Friday.
Yeah.
Saint Vincent has a new album. All Born Screaming. I've listened to it a lot of times now.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. I love her. It feels very cinematic in a way. It's really cool.
It's been like quite a lot of like new music that's been released, like good new music as well.
Absolutely. I'm afraid for 2025 because I feel like
I think that
no music will come out in that
it's gonna kind of suck. Like one of my favorite artists of all time, Blade.
Okay.
He like released 2 albums this year, so we are fed. Like I'm so well fed.
And next year we'll starve.
Yeah, we'll starve next year.
Yeah.
No music.
No music.
But also like my poor bank account with all the vinyls I'm buying.
Oh yeah.
And all the music. So
you can have a rest next year.
I need a rest next year.
But cool. Very nice recommendations.
Thank you.
Just to say something absolutely insane. It's nice. I was just gonna say with the we're all going to the World's Fair. It's nice to have good Gen Z movies because I feel like there is so much not good Gen Z movies, and now that like Gen Z is like getting a bit older, and we can like have movies that are like actually from a good perspective.
Yeah, I've been just waiting so long for this as well.
Yeah, like I forget the director's name, but the director of like Shiver Baby and Bodies.
Oh, yeah, I know, I recognize who it is.
But like when I was watching Shiver Baby, I was just like, this is so like what it's like to be Gen Z.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also like the like
So nice.
such like very good representation of being bisexual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's like so much chaos.
Absolutely. But yeah, hopefully more just messy Gen Z movies in the future.
We need that.
Mm-hmm. Not Euphoria.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched that.
I don't know. It's just 30-year-olds taking drugs and
Yeah,
having orgies as if they weren't 16.
yeah.
Nice to get a little Euphoria jab in the end.
Yeah, but I was actually meaning to watch Euphoria. My mum recommended me Euphoria.
Whoa,
Yeah.
huge. Okay.
But I was like, no, I'm watching Skins, which is like OG Euphoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skins is probably better.
But so problematic as well. It's like not aged well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like have you watched Skins?
Maybe like half of the first season.
Yeah, it's just like some of the stuff is like I don't think it's like really good I put on the screen. I'm thinking especially about Cassie and like her issues.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it hasn't aged that well, but
Okay.
I think Skins is good.
I've been watching a Norwegian show, Helt Perfect.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Yeah. It's just like cringe, like mockumentary.
Yeah,
It's very good though.
I
It's
do love a mockumentary.
one of the few Norwegian shows that are funny. Dot, dot, dot.
Yeah. Norwegian shows are a bit crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Maybe you
Yeah,
could be
thank
on
you.
a future episode. Talk about
Yeah,
a
I want to
film.
come back and yap again.
Yeah. Well, this is the arena to yap in. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
I do love a good yap.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And goodbye.
Bye.
This has been a Bergen Film Club production. Our music is by Wise John. Check them out on Instagram at WISEJohnOfficial. Our logo is by Pia Sofia Brentersen. This episode was produced, mixed and engineered by Joel Lawrence. Our researchers are Inke Shilprai-Bern and Mamina Nazmajid. Want to talk to us about films? Then please send us an email at podcast@bergenfilmclub.com. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at TheRealThingPod. Check us out on Letterboxd at BFK The Real Thing. Thank you and goodbye. Listen, follow, leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts.